I genuinely thought this day wouldn't come for the next 40 years. I cannot believe what I'm about to do right now. I'm about to sell my entire Vanguard portfolio. I don't want to do it, I really don't. But Vanguard have recently made a change, which means I have to do this. Let me take you through my entire Vanguard account, what I've been investing in for the past couple of years, why I'm making this change, and then I'm going to make a separate video showing you exactly where I'm going to be putting my money in the new investment platform and exactly show you the entire process. Without further ado, let's dive into it so I can explain to you why Vanguard have made me sell all my investments. If you haven't subscribed already, please do for all things money and personal finance, and like and comment on this video for any ideas of videos you would like to see in the future. Now let's get into it. So let's make myself way smaller than that because you don't want to see that. And let's click login. So I'm just on the Vanguard investor site, as you can see. So this is the page I come across when I log into my Vanguard portfolio. So let's start right at the top. My current ISA valuation is £11,021. Now, what is the ISA? So this is a stocks and shares ISA, which means any returns I've made here are going to be tax-free because an ISA is a tax-exempt wrapper. So that is my current valuation. Let's get into that in a second. This next section here, my ISA allowance. So you get £20,000 to put across all of your different ISAs in one tax year. So as you can see here, I've only put about £500 in. So I've got loads more for the rest of the year. So I can easily sell this and then put it again into another investment platform. A slight caveat here, you can actually transfer your ISAs, as you can see down here. The only reason I won't be able to do this is because the specific funds I invest in are not available on the new platform. But if your funds are available on the new platform you want to invest in, you can just transfer the ISA and save having to do what I'm going to be doing today. So investments, we'll get onto that in a second, but let's look at my personal rate of return. It's a whopping 42, nearly 43%. So that is a return on what I have put in my own personal money. We have available cash here and latest transactions. Let's go in and look at my investments, what I've been investing into for the last couple of years. So I have invested mainly in two different funds. As you can see there, the main bulk of my money is in the FTSE Global All Cap Index Fund, the accumulating version. And then about a third of it is in the S&P 500 accumulating version. And the reason these are both accumulating versions is because specific funds have two different types. They have an income version and an accumulating version. An income version is where you'll get paid the dividends and you can take it out into your bank account. The accumulating version is they just reinvest those dividends. So personally for me, I don't need the cash currently, and I think I want the money to compound over time. So I'm reinvesting those dividends and buying more of the same fund and watching my money grow over time. Hence why I said I never thought this day would come, because my idea with this portfolio was not to sell it anytime soon and to leave it for 40 years until I retirement. But we'll get on to why Vanguard have made me do that in a second. So as you can see, so I have bought £5,800 worth of this fund, and they're currently worth £7,500. So in terms of like profit, if I was to sell it right now, which I'm about to do, I've made £1,700 over about 2.5 years. I'll show you that in a second. The S&P 500 has a slight caveat in that I actually made an error. When I purchased this, I purchased the income version. So about a year ago, I sold the income version and bought the accumulating version. So hence the return is a little bit less. That's only because I did it quite recently. But still on this one, as you can see, I've made £660 in profit. So in total, I put in £8,600. And if I sell it right now, I'll get £11,000. So making a profit and a gain of over £2,300. Let's just have a quick look at performance. So I opened this account at the beginning of the tax year in April 2022, so nearly 3 years ago. And as you can see, this is my personal rate of return, which you saw on the front page there. So let's go ahead and click on the individual funds just to show you their performance. So what these dots are showing you is when I have bought into the funds. The red dots here are when the fees have come out of my account. So they have sold a bit of the fund to pay for my fee. So as you can see, I've bought fairly regularly here, and what this is a process called sort of dollar cost averaging in the States or pound cost averaging in the UK. So as you can see, the price to buy one share of this fund currently is £233, but my average unit cost has been £180 because I've bought here for £190, for example. I've bought at different sort of prices. I also bought, well, if let's go out to 5 years, for example, or maybe 3 years is a better example, you can see how fluctuating my cost has been, hence why my average price is £180. But that's what's made me the profit. My average price has been 180, but I'm now selling it at £233. So you can see here, these are all the different transactions I've made. And this is quite interesting to you, just the past performance of this fund specifically. So if you just look at 1 year, let's say you take this year as a bad example, you might think, oh my God, my investments are down 8%. But then you zoom out and you see, look, positive, and they're big numbers, right? These are not small numbers, and they're much more than you would get in a bank account. That's the FTSE Global All Cap. The S&P 500 is going to be a bit shorter, as I say, because I've only been invested for a year. So you see, I bought this pot back in February 2024, but you can still see here that I bought it for £74, and now I'm selling it for £92. This is just a fast performance of the S&P 500, actually better overall than the FTSE Global All Cap. Now the question is, why do I invest in these two separate funds? So the S&P 500, as sort of denoted by the name, has the 500 biggest companies in America. The FTSE Global All Cap has about 7,000 different stocks in it. Let's see if we can actually get into that. Here we go. If we just Google, and I'll just take you through the page of what made me invest in this specific fund. So as you can see, there is an accumulating version and there is an income version. So personally, I'm always going to be choosing the accumulating version. And you can see here, this is invested in 7,000 different stocks. So if you put £100 in, that will be distributed between those 7,000 stocks. If you go to portfolio data here, you can actually see what it's invested between. So you can see the split of the regions. So mainly in North America, you can see the markets it's invested into. If you keep scrolling down, you can see the sort of sector it's invested into, and even the individual holdings. So if you put £100 in, £4 of that is going to be invested in Apple, £3.50 is going to be invested in Nvidia, for example. You can see all of these 700 pages, which I won't take you through. That's personally what I've been investing into. Let me just quickly take you back to show you through my transactions. So as I said, at the beginning of April 2022, at the start of the new tax year, I put about £5,000 in this account. So I put 2,500 in the S&P 500. This was the wrong version, personally for me. This was the income version, also known as distributing. I've now since changed that, and I put £2,500 into the FTSE Global All Cap. The reason there is a bit of money missing here is because they saved some for the fees. And then you can see I've been regularly investing into just the FTSE Global All Cap because personally I think it's a more well-rounded fund and invested not just in America but in the wider world. So you can see here all the different transactions. Go back to page 1, all the different transactions. This, as I said last February, was when I sold the income version and then I bought the accumulating version. You can see they've got a different ticker symbol here. And that's where we are now. And that brings me to what I'm about to do. What I'm about to do is sell all of my investments. And now, why am I doing that? Let me take you through the fees I've been paying to Vanguard, and then I'll tell you why I want to swap away from them. So we go to transaction, we go to fees, and then let me just make this bigger. So we can see here for a 3-month period, I've been paying £3.50. So overall, over a year, it's roughly about £15 at the max, right? And it's obviously gone up with the more I have had in my account. But you can see here the first one was only £1.81. So at maximum I was paying about £15 because Vanguard's platform fee was 0.15%. As you can see here, the fund has an ongoing charge, but that is different, and that is going to be similar if I invested in this exact same fund on a different platform. Or a similar sort of fund. So the ongoing fund fee is different to the platform fee. So this is just to have a Vanguard account. The reason for the change is, as I was saying, I was paying about £15 maximum. Now Vanguard have introduced a £4 a month minimum fee. So that is £48 a year, unless you have over £32,000 in your account, which you can see I don't. The reason they've done this is clearly they don't want people that have small amounts of money like me in it because it's not worth their time because they're only getting, £4 every 3 months, for example. So that is why I am selling. A lot of people I know are also selling because they are not happy that Vanguard have upped that fee. Vanguard is a trusted and well-known investment platform, and it still is. It still really is, but it clearly is just not for beginner investors anymore. If you only have £5,000 to put in, you can get it a lot cheaper on other platforms, which I'll go into in a separate video. So that is why I am selling. Let's go and do it. This is still weird to me. I don't feel like I should be doing this, but I have to do this because I know £15 versus £48 doesn't sound like a lot, but as a percentage, and considering these other platforms like Trading 212 or Invest Engine, which I'm debating which one to go to at the moment, are completely free if you do it yourself and you don't do a managed fund. So if I was to pick the S&P 500 on Invest Engine, I would only pay the fund fee, which was a 0.07 fee. I won't pay anything towards Invest Engine, for example. And that's what I think I'm going to go to one of those, and that's why I have to sell these funds. So without further ado, let's hit the very big scary button that says sell. So leave it as cash in your ISA. Sorry, I think you're in the way. Well, I'm in the way. Sell all. So I've got 32 units of it. The estimated value is £7,500, and we're going to click yes. Submit. This is very scary to me. And I didn't want to do this, I really didn't. So let's go ahead and sell the other fund here. So the S&P 500 sell. So we have the next available price and we have the live price. I do believe that with the live price, I'm going to have to pay a fee. So I'm going to take the risk and use the next available price for the S&P 500. Let's leave it as cash. Perfect. Sell all. So you see I have 38 units and I'm getting £3,500. And submit. And there we have it. Transactions ordered. Let's just see them going through. As you can see, these are both still pending here. The sell function. So hopefully they sell at a similar sort of value, and then I'll have that cash in my account instead of the measly £3.96 minus that I've got here. And then once that money is in my is in here as cash, I will be withdrawing that to my bank account, and then I'll be creating a separate video showing you exactly step by step of how I will be investing that into probably Invest Engine or Trading 212. So the day has come where I've sold my Vanguard portfolio investment. I really didn't want to do this, but the reason I've had to is because of the Vanguard introducing the monthly minimum fee of £4. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll be investing some of this money into another platform. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.